Do you have a great relationship? Are you trying to improve your relationship with your loved one, your partner, your spouse? That is what we're talking about today on Set to Love. Welcome.
You can live a life in flow where your deepest heart's desires become reality.
You are here to contribute through your essence, fall deeper in love with your life and the journey that you are on.
Take what works, ditch the rest, and always stay set to love.
Thank you for being a part of this community. We're all designed to live in flow. So let's go.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you today?
I'm doing good. There's a phone ringing in the background, so I hope it's not going to be a problem.
I don't
I have no
hear
control over that.
It's all right. I have people walking in. So, hopefully no one else walks in. Just the way
This
it
is
goes.
life.
Just the way it goes when you're live. Things happen.
Yes.
So good morning. Good morning. Yesterday we talked about tips on forming great friendships. We talked a lot about examples within our own friendship. And so if anyone is curious on some of Shelly's and my ideas on how to form a really solid friendship with a girlfriend or a guy, whatever friendship, then maybe check out yesterday's show. And today we're talking about forming great relationships, whether it's with your spouse, your partner, the person you're dating, the person you want to be dating. What are some tips to forming great relationships? So, Shelly, we both have had really great relationships and also not so great relationships. So is there something like when you think about your relationship with Bob that's different from your relationship with Scott? What's one of the things that has really helped you to have that great relationship with Bob in this part of your life right now?
Not to correct you, but I am going to correct you. I think I had a lot of good things even in my first marriage. So when I look back at it, I have no regrets. I mean, of course, you can always improve on things, but people do grow and change. So I love what we shared for a long time, and we brought kids into the world. So for that, it still warms my heart. He'll always be my family. So, but the importance of the things that I did learn and to take with me, I just think that one of the most important things is to be involved in something together. Like, for instance, Bob golfed a lot. And he would be gone all day. I mean, it was all day. And I didn't know how to golf. And so I thought, you know what? I better learn how to golf. Like if I really want to be involved in something that he's really excited about and really enjoys, golf is my thing. And I'm telling you, it was hard at first because I'm a sports person. But when you first go out there and the ball's right there and you miss it, golf is not just something you go and do. And so I did. It took months to learn how to play golf. I got into a women's group just to practice at the driving range. And I put a lot of effort into that, which really made my husband feel important because he's like, wow, she's even taking classes. And now, 5 years later, it's something that has really enriched our relationship because we've been all over the place, Mexico, whatever. We'll have Florida. We'll have our golf clubs sent there, and we have this common interest. And it's a beautiful thing that was built from that. So I think being involved he can still do his own thing. I don't go every time. He has time with the guys, but he does enjoy. Now we even take Maya to a couple golf courses. Our dog, and that's been a great experience.
I love that you found something that maybe you wouldn't have even ever tried. We talked about that on Monday, right? Trying new things, getting outside your comfort zone, giving yourself new experiences. And golf, I remember the first few times I was on a golf course, it's so another one of those things that kind of maybe feels a little bit like uppity or whatever. But it is so incredibly peaceful and relaxing, and just being on those greens and the trees and in your little golf cart and just.
Plus, I would make it romantic. I would bring, wine and Prosecco and cheeses, almost like wine tasting, but on the golf course. Or I would just pack us a lunch with no alcohol and just have sandwiches and snacks. And it's because you're out there all day.
Yeah,
so
it does take a long time.
Really fun. You can catch up on a lot of things. It's a beautiful, it's so great. I'm so thankful. And I do think that strengthens Bob and I's relationship, because we get that many hours of just each other.
Quality time together. I
You
love
do that with Jillian?
That's beautiful. We have things that we do together, definitely not golfing as like being one of those things. I'll say one of the beautiful things about my relationship with Chad is that he was very, very involved in the nonprofit that I run. And so we shared that a lot in our office. We shared an office. We worked together, even though he had his own job, he would volunteer with the nonprofit. So I definitely see the benefits of being involved and working on a project together with someone that you love and that you're in a relationship with, because it gives you common ground on things to talk about, and you're working on a project or goal together, or doing something, or just enjoying the time together. We would be at camp. It was a family affair. All the kids would come and he would come. So I definitely agree that having things together that you like to do, and we have those things, but it's different. Like our relationship is beautiful in different ways. We don't necessarily have that. But one of the things that for me that has made my relationship with Julian so much stronger, I'll say, and one of the lessons learned from my relationship with Chad, with my kid's dad, is that I say what I think. I do not, and I say it, and we talked about this yesterday too, like I can be a little blunt, but I used to not say things, especially if they would lead to conflict or what I would perceive might be conflict. Like Chad and I fought maybe 5 times our entire marriage, like not even like little baby fights, legit 5 times. I can think of one time that he slept on the couch downstairs and it was over keeping a dog or not keeping a dog, So it was like, and that was like the extent of a big fight. But with Julian, we've had so many little breaks, so many little conflicts. And it's really taught me how to have those conflicts and then how to mend, how to be able to say what you need to say in a loving way and be open and honest about how you're feeling about whatever, and then working it out and coming back together. And then it's always like with the intention of, we're going to work this out, like whatever this is. And I could be totally wrong. He could be wrong. We could both be a little wrong, whatever that means. But giving each other space to feel how we need to feel and then being honest about it. So that's one thing I've definitely learned, like not to keep your feelings suppressed, because suppressed feelings lead to really big problems that maybe you can't work out down the road because it's 1,000 little things and it isn't just one thing. So for me, I would say being able to really express your feelings, regardless of what they are, with that person that you're in a relationship with.
Communication is so important, because even in a disagreement, I think of like, for instance, let's say you were having an argument with your significant other and they would say, oh, that's just excuses, and it kind of cuts off. But if you don't speak up and say, you know what, that leaves me nowhere to go. Like I'm trying to explain my feelings to you and you are just cutting me off. That's what I think. I think it's so important that even in the argument, how you're feeling about, wait a minute, you didn't just leave me anywhere to go. This is just, your way or whatever. And we need this to be a back and forth thing until we can resolve it. Sometimes people need a little bit of time in between. You may need a little, like I hate having to take time. That just kills me because I want to resolve it now. But I think sometimes people need a little bit of
today,
a break
right now.
they can, right?
Yeah.
So,
and here's the thing is like we don't have as many conflicts these days as we did sort of in the beginning parts of our relationship, because we're trying to figure each other out. But it was also like, the arguments were not, you're a terrible person and you hurt me and I'm right and you're wrong. I mean, it was always like, and you would say this too, Shelly, like, what's your part? If I'm feeling a certain way, that's also on me. Why do I feel this way? And where is this coming from? And how much of this is really his to carry and how much of it's really my own? You know, what boundaries have I not set up, or what have I not expressed clearly enough? And so really taking your part in that communication. But anyway, I totally agree with you that communication and having an open, honest, loving dialogue is super important to have a successful relationship. What else? Do you have another thing that comes out?
Yeah, I also feel like something that I know is very important to Bob, and of course it should be, that he's first. Like he is my first priority. I mean, I love my kids and my granddaughter and all of that. But I think your man or your significant other really does need to know that they're the first priority, because the two of you are sharing life together. You're making your decisions together. You're doing all of these things. So if, you know, you don't need to feel pulled. You should always, even above your kids, your spouse or your boyfriend, whatever, should be first, because if they really love you, like Bob will leave space. He knows how I am with the kids and my granddaughter. And he could be fighting me on the fact that I'm gone Wednesday and Thursday to be a part of Harper's life weekly. Like that could be a big, huge bump in the road. But thank God he, you know, he finds time to study on Wednesdays, and he just is productive and does other things on the day, because right now, this season in our lives, I'm needed as a grandma to be there for Harper. And so I just feel like when he knows he still is first, then he supported me. He does support me in the things to not make me feel pulled. I don't know if that makes any sense.
What's so beautiful? I love that, Shelly. And what's so beautiful is whether he knows it or not, you're giving him space on those 2 days to put himself first. Like you said, studying, you know, doing whatever he's pursuing, and just being able just to be with himself, or go with friends, or go golfing, or do whatever, you know, that he might want to do for himself on those days. So he has time to, and I bet he'll look back and really be grateful for that he did have that opportunity to grow in certain ways that maybe he wouldn't have taken as much time or effort if you would have been there, because he would have rather spent time with you, you know, and do something with you. And it would have been more of like a pull against that. So
I also feel that that's why it is important that you do have common interest, and you don't just check in, how was your day, that you actually spend time, go for a walk at the park, and really nurture your relationship. Because if I did nothing all week and then I was gone, how would we be connecting? How would we be just passing? And I'm not saying there haven't been weeks where things have been hectic, but I really do, even when a week has been hectic, I try to even recognize it and say, you know what, we haven't had any time. You know, do you think we can do blah, blah? Because I miss you. And just them knowing, and like, wow, thank you for recognizing that. I miss you too. Because some weeks are like crazy, but he is my first priority. And because he's the one that's my cheerleader, he has my back for everything. He's my person. And so I hope he feels first on my list.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure. I think the thing about you, Shelly, is whoever you're with, they feel like they're first. I feel like I'm first when I'm talking to you or with you. I would never know. I mean, I know Bob's first, but I think you're very good at making people feel like they are first on the list. So I appreciate that. So thank you for that so much. And I have to say this because at least in this relationship, it's such a beautiful significance that I just need to say. I think it's really important to have a really connected sex life with your partner. Like not where it is not just robotic, all the same, all the time, boring, like just to have the orgasm. I know I'm kind of throwing this out at the 15-minute mark, but I am just saying that 5 years of being with Julian, it's every single time, literally almost every single time, magical. And I don't even know, like, what are we doing? We're just so in tune with the other person. I'm so connected and like in the moment, and just so grateful to be like, even just kissing him, you know, and just like feeling that closeness or snuggled in his arms. And it doesn't have to be sex per se, but just that intimacy, that there's this beautiful connection of just like, our feet just touching at night, or like around 4 o'clock in the morning when we start to kind of like, oh, we're going to be getting up soon, and we just want to know the other person's there. There's just this intimacy that I think carries you through those difficult times, those challenges, or things that are ahead, because you know that person's like got your back. And I really feel that in those moments where I can just be close to him. So I think that's an important thing to nurture in your relationships, that you do not let your sex life just become like a checklist item. Once a week, done, check, over. Like your relationship, it will not be healthy.
I think that also, having those intimate times with your partner, first of all, that's the only person you share those intimate times. And I think that it does. It reconnects you. It makes you closer. The bond is better. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, that's why we have it, right?
Yes. I mean, that's why God made it, or the universe, or whatever.
So definitely that actually should be the first on our list. Right.
We could have a whole show about that one.
Yeah.
But I think the other ones here's the thing, without all the other things, that becomes a checklist. It's building all the other things. That's all that great communication. It's spending time together. It's having the beautiful everyday moments that when you get to be intimate, it makes it so much more connected and so much more personal, because you do have so much more outside of what happens in the bedroom. So I think they're both equally important.
Yes. And to be caring and giving.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah. All right, friend. We're at that point. It's time to say goodbye. Till tomorrow.
Sure is. So here we are, everyone. You can find us at settolove.com. If you have relationship questions, or, you want to dive into how to make your relationship better, reach out to Shelly and I. We would love to help you and take what works and ditch the rest, as we always say. And you can find us at set2lovepodcast@gmail.com. Thanks everyone so much for being here today. Best friend, I love you. I love just having these real conversations with you. I appreciate you.
Thanks for your vulnerability today. That was a good one. Talking about sex
we went in
so
deep.
many times.
Love you.
Love you. Hit the bell, everyone.